Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Justin coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona, and welcome to the first of my series of videos that I've finally come up with a name for, and I'm calling it Just Goofin Around. So obviously it's a slight play on my name and on Goofy, my favorite character, obviously, as you can tell when you see all my Goofy paraphernalia here. So these are the videos where I'm going to just kind of be, obviously not at Disneyland, here at home in Arizona, and I'm just kind of on Disney-related topics. So what better way to start the inaugural episode than with something revolving around Goofy? So I'm going to give you my current top 5 Goofy short cartoons. Part of the reason this video is taking so long to come out is I've had to take a long time to figure out what my top 5 is, because if you're familiar with Goofy shorts, you know there are a lot of them. Here is my current top 5 Goofy shorts. So, starting with number 5. Number 5 is a more modern times one. It's not any of the current shorts that they're showing right now on Disney Channel. The ones that are different looking animation, mostly featuring Mickey, where Goofy kind of looks weird. But this one is more recent than a lot of the original Goofy shorts that most people are familiar with. And it's actually part of the new Disney Shorts Blu-ray collection that just came out here recently. So number 5 is the how to install a home theater. Now, why I chose this one, partially because it's more up to modern times. A lot of us can kind of relate to it if we have home theaters or we'd like to watch TV. It also shows him wanting to get the home theater because he wants to watch the big game. And as I happen to be filming this on the opening Sunday of the NFL season, it fits that way because it's time to start watching football games.
And there are many models from which to choose. A conservatively sized unit is the most prudent selection.
And this one's just, it doesn't have anything in particular that just makes it, better than all the other ones. I just like its theme. We're trying to set up a home theater, we're trying to watch the football game. The one unique thing this one kind of does have is a lot of the Goofy cartoons have him kind of playing a lot of different characters where you see just like Goofy clones everywhere. This one, he's playing himself, but everyone else in the short that you see is also a Goofy looking character. But this one actually he's playing Goofy, so that one is kind of interesting. But yeah, I just like this one. It brings us to modern times. It's something that at least I'm familiar with, getting a sound system and a theater system and all that kind of stuff and watching football. So that's number 5. All right, number 4. Number 4 is going to go back to a lot of the how-tos from back in the day. And this one, as we continue with the sports theme, is the video called The Art of Skiing. Now this one is obviously it's in my top 5, so it's one of my favorites. This one I like. It's got the quintessential, narrator voice talking to Goofy. A lot of the other Goofy shorts, you'll have a mixture of the two. You might have some where he's talking to Goofy, you might have other ones where he's talking to the audience. So this is one where he's talking to Goofy.
And now!
And probably the one thing that stands out the most in Art of Skiing, other than being where Goofy is kind of being the goof that he is, which I'll segue to that right now. This is one of the few how-to videos, especially with the sports ones, where he is being himself. Where a lot of the ones he's playing sports, but he's just the quintessential, he's just playing all the characters, and none of them are Goofy as we know him. But in the Art of Skiing, it is Goofy as we know him. So he does a lot of funny things and gets in a lot of trouble. And probably the one thing I remember most about Art of Skiing is this is the one short where you get the quintessential Goofy yell, the Goofy scream, when he's going down the slalom, the long ski jump. And that just kind of sticks out immediately because everybody knows the Goofy scream. that is number 4 on my list. All right, number 3. Number 3 on my list, which is fitting because of football season, is how to play football. Now this is one, as I was describing in number 4, where Goofy is playing all the characters, all the players, the coaches, the umpires, the fans. Everybody is Goofy. And probably you can use one word, maybe it's 2 words, maybe it's 1 word with a dash. Swivel hips is one of the things that stands out in this one to me. If you know the short I'm talking about, one of the main players on the team, which the team names were also interesting because it's taxidermy, and I'm forgetting completely the name, so shame on me. But it's 2 teams it's a college football game, and it's 2 teams for you to be like, okay, they have no reason playing football. But taxidermy has their star player is nicknamed Swivel Hips, and he just kind of haphazardly goes out there. He pays no attention at all, and he's able to score every time he pretty much touches the ball.
Thrown into the arms of Swivel Hip Smith, that great All-American star, triple threat scat back. Look at him go, they can't touch him. He can really carry the mail, that boy. Look at that open field run, look at that straight arm. He's away and he's over for a touchdown.
And the coach kind of treats him as a king. They let him, he only goes in for 1 play at a time. He comes out and he sits in a recliner and he's getting massaged and all this stuff. And when he gets injured in the game, the coach is like having a heart attack. But I mean, there's so many great things about the How to Play Football video. And when they're explaining the narrator, again, this is the one with the narrator, but this one he's talking to the audience. When he's explaining how to play the game, they do the classic deal in the video where as he's explaining it, all of a sudden all the noises are popping up so you don't hear a word he says.
The object of the game is to pass the ball over the goal line to the goal and that's how the game is played.
You see so many funny things in the video. It's a quintessential Goofy film, even though it's not the Goofy character himself playing all the characters. And in the end, the coach ends up in a straitjacket because of all the crazy things that happen. And the final score, I believe, ends up being like 13.5 to 12 because at the end of the first half, the field goal or the extra point teeters back and forth on the goalpost, and then the ending shot actually is from a gun, deflates the football, no pun intended there, and has it flop over so they give it half a point. But it's just a great classic Goofy film, or Goofy short, and that's why it's number 3. All right, number 2. Number 2, sports related again, and this one is another one where Goofy is playing all of the actors or all the characters in the film. Hockey Homicide. So this one's kind of it's not really a how to play hockey, but it's hockey related. And this is just another one where it just features so many crazy things that go on. And as I mentioned, he plays all the players on the hockey teams. He plays the referee, he plays the people in the stands. Pretty sure he plays the hockey game announcer, and everything just goes nuts from the beginning. And I think one of the funniest things about this one to me is the 2 star players from either team. They talk about at the beginning of the cartoon how they're rivals and they've been waiting to go up against each other. Well, as soon as the game starts, they just start beating each other up and get sent to the penalty box. These 2 players, their names are Bertino and Ferguson. So pretty much throughout the entire film, you see them going in and out of the penalty box because they start the game, they start beating each other up, and they go to the penalty box. Then when they come out, and this happens at least 2 or 3 times throughout the cartoon, you hear the game announcer saying, here's Bertino and Ferguson out of the penalty box. As soon as they get out, they start beating each other up again, and in classic old cartoon fashion, they're doing the exact same fight every single time. So you see the exact same animation.
Here come Bertino and Ferguson out of the penalty box. And there go Bertino and Ferguson back into the penalty box.
And then, meanwhile, the game is actually going on, which you only see little tidbits of. And then all of a sudden, craziness ensues towards the end of the game, where all of a sudden, all the pucks that are in the stadium or in the arena fall into the ice. So in classic Goofy cartoon fashion, all the players just start hitting all the pucks, and the score ends up being something crazy like 300 to 330 or something like that, because they just keep shooting and keep scoring. But again, it's a classic old Goofy sports cartoon, and it's hilarious, and you can't help but just laugh every time you watch it. So yeah, Hockey Homicide, that's my number 2. All right, and now we're at my number 1 Goofy cartoon short. My number 1 Goofy short at this time might be a little bit kind of hard to explain, I guess, because it may not be the one everybody thinks of, but it's Motor Mania, where it's the short kind of about driving. And this one, I mean, it's got a whole bunch of different elements that are funny, but it's for those who aren't familiar with it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, this is the one where the character is Mr. Walker, who is the pedestrian, and when he gets into a car and he starts the car, he almost has like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde moment where turning on the car transforms him into this crazy psychotic guy who they nickname Mr. Wheeler.
But once behind the wheel, a strange phenomenon takes place. Mr. Walker is charged with an overwhelming sense of power. His whole personality changes. Abruptly, he becomes an uncontrollable monster, a demon driver. Mr. Walker is now Mr. Wheeler.
And Mr. Wheeler is like the quintessential road rage driving fanatic who's just nuts. Mr. Wheeler's just that guy who just wants to get there fast, pedal to the metal. You know, he's annoyed if he's gets stuck behind somebody. He's yelling at people. He's trying to splash water into pedestrians. Which does lead to a funny part in the short where he kind of abandons that persona, where he takes like one of those really narrow roads you can only fit about one car on, and he drives right in the middle, causing a huge traffic jam as he's just kind of leisurely going along because he's in the front. So he likes to get angry at people, but yet he also likes to tick everybody off, which is kind of a fun little deal that they stick in there. One of the other parts that, or one of the other, I guess we'll call them Easter eggs, a lot of people call them that in this film, is, and it's right towards the beginning, and you kind of have to be listening and kind of know your Goofy shorts when you watch it. Both Mr. Walker and Mr. Wheeler say something to their neighbor across the street, and they call him Mr. Geef. But if you know the name Mr. Geef, in a lot of the cartoons, the Goofy shorts, where Goofy's not playing the Goofy that we know him as, his character's name is Mr. Geef.
Good morning, Mr. Walker.
Good morning to you, Mr. Geef. Lovely day.
Hey, Geef! Watch where you're going, stupid!
So yeah, I just find Motor Mania just to be a hilarious episode, because it kind of just personifies kind of that feeling that we have when we get cut off in the road or we get stuck behind somebody who's driving slow. It's kind of like when you watch the transformation from Walker to Wheeler, I think it kind of signifies how we feel in our heads. Because I know that I'm one who will kind of yell at people in my car even though they can't hear a word I'm saying. And then the fact that it's only when he's in the car he's like that, and when he's out of the car, all of a sudden he's like this well-behaved, well-mannered, like businessman type of guy. So yeah, Motor Mania, that is my currently number 1 Goofy short. So that is my top 5 Goofy shorts. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite Goofy short and why? I know there's a ton to choose from that I left out. If you want to, give me your top 5. Go ahead and give this video a click or a like, subscribe, share, and that way you'll be able to know when I come out with my next episode of Just Goofin' Around. And I might even do some of these while I'm at Disneyland. Who knows? Might give a fun little deal for me to do while I'm there. and something different than just my typical meet and greets. So, hope you all have a good one, and get onto YouTube and watch some Goofy shorts, and you all have a great day, night, morning, whatever it is. And I will see you next time. Bye.